masks and face coverings are commonplace in 2020, and they're about to be enforced in certain places. Now is the perfect time to learn some basic sign language to help you communicate with deaf BSL users. Imagine your primary means of communication was lip reading, and then suddenly everybody started to cover their mouths. This is a really challenging time for deaf people. Learning just a few basic signs can really help day-to-day conversations and communication. In this video, I'm going to show you some basic signs from British Sign Language, and hopefully you can use them when communicating with deaf people. Let's get started. Lip patterns are actually a big part of British Sign Language. However, we're going to be assuming that everybody's wearing a mask. So in this video, we're not going to be talking about lip patterns. Let's get started with the sign for please and thank you. So the sign for please and thank you is exactly the same. Take a flat hand, touch your chin with your fingertips, and then move your hand away in the direction of the person that you're saying please or thank you to. Use your dominant hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to use my right hand. If you're left-handed, use your left hand. So it's just fingertips on your chin, and then just move your hand away in the direction of the person that you're saying please or thank you to. For yes and no, there's a couple of different ways you can sign this. I'm going to show you the easiest way to sign yes and no, and that's simply nod or shake your head. So yes, no. That's fairly easy to remember. If you want to, you can imagine that your closed hand is your head. So you just shake it for no, nod it for yes. But I think for the purposes of just communicating with deaf people in the easiest and quickest way possible, use your head, that's perfectly fine. Yes, no. Fairly straightforward. I don't know. So the sign for I don't know, you probably already do a little bit of it anyway. If somebody asks you something and you don't know, you might shrug your shoulders. Do that. Use your body language to try and communicate what you mean. So, I don't know, you want to shrug your shoulders and raise your eyebrows at the same time. Now in British Sign Language, what we're going to do is touch our head with both hands, your fingertips, and then at the same time as shrugging your shoulders and raising your eyebrows, move your hands away. So, that's the sign for I don't know. Asking somebody if they're deaf might not always be appropriate. Take clues. Are they signing? Are they wearing a badge stating their communication needs? But you might need to ask because you might need to follow that up with a question about whether they need an interpreter or not. So, to ask somebody if they're deaf, we're simply going to point with your index finger. Don't worry, pointing in British Sign Language is not rude. So we're going to point, and then we're going to take two fingers, bring them together, and just place them next to our ear. Now hopefully we can still see your eyebrows with your face mask on, and at the same time you're going to raise your eyebrows. So we're going to say, are you deaf? So, you deaf? Writing things down can really help you in a situation where you need to communicate with a deaf person. So, the sign for write it down is just take an imaginary pad, an imaginary pen, and we're just going to pretend to write on our hand. So this is write it down. Now, if I want to say, do you want me to write it down? What I'm going to sign is want, which is a flat hand, and you're just going to touch your chest and move down. So want, me, index finger, point, want me to write it down. And at the same time, move your eyebrows. So want me to write it down. The eyebrow movement, remember, that lets the person know that you're asking a question. So, want me to write it down. If I'm asking somebody to write something down for me, what I can do is I can point to the person and say, you write it down. That isn't considered rude in British Sign Language, don't worry. I know if you said that in English and you said that out loud, that might sound quite rude, but in British Sign Language it isn't, don't worry. So you write it down. You write it down. In certain situations, deaf people are going to need an interpreter. So if you need to ask them if they need an interpreter, the sign for interpreter is 2 fingers extended and apart on both hands. Bring your hands so that they're facing inwards and to each other, and then just going to turn your hands in opposite directions. So this is the sign for interpreter. So to put that in a sentence, we're going to say, you want interpreter. So you want interpreter. Please wait. So for please wait, we're going to sign please, and then the sign for wait, close both hands, and then just make some circular motions towards each other. So this is the sign for wait, and that's the sign for please. So please wait. Please wait. And if you need to add a location on there, you can say please wait and then point to where they need to wait. Please sit down. So please, we know the sign for please, flat hand, touch your fingertips on your chin, move your hand away, please, sit down, take 2 hands, sort of bring them up to the side of your body on both sides, and then just motion down. It's almost like you're sitting in a chair. So please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down. And then point to where they should sit down. So please sit down over there. The sign for sorry, take our hand, close it, place it on your chest, and then make a circular motion on your chest. So this is the sign for sorry. Sorry. Come here. So if you need to sign come here, maybe you work on a reception and you need them to come forward to the desk, you can simply sign come here. Bring your fingers towards your hand. You probably use this one anyway. If you need to get a deaf person's attention because maybe their eyesight is somewhere else, just do a small wave. Small wave like this. This kind of means hey. So hey, come here. Numbers. Now I'm not going to go through every number, and there are a few different number systems in British Sign Language, so I'm going to show you the easiest one there is and the one that everybody will understand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's nice and easy up to 10, so just count with your fingers, as you probably do anyway. Now for 11, take your thumb and your index finger and just tap them together twice. So this is the sign for 11. For 12, take 2 fingers and tap them on your thumb. This is the sign for 12. For 13, the sign is 3, but then you add a sideways movement to it. 14, again the same, it's the sign for 4, add a sideways movement. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So for 11 and 12, you tap your fingers against your thumb, and then for 13 to 19, you add a sideways movement to the number itself. For 20 and above, what I want you to imagine is columns in front of you. So we're going to place one number in this column, one number in this column. So for 20, we sign 2, 0, 20. For 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then 30. Again, it follows the same pattern, the same rule. So just ensure that you're placing your numbers in your column to add that separation. Numbers are really useful if you want to communicate a price. So I'm going to show you the sign for pound and pence next. So the sign for pound, take your index finger, with your other hand, just make it flat, and you're going to go into motion from the area just in front of your face towards the center of the palm, and just place the index finger on the center of the palm. So this is the sign for pound. 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 So I could sign £10. The sign for pence is actually the letter P in the British Sign Language alphabet. So you're going to form a small circle with your dominant hand, index finger on your other hand, and just create a P. So I could sign £9.99. Please. If you can't remember numbers, hopefully you've got a till, and hopefully that till's got a display on that faces the customer. So what you can do, wherever your till is, you can just point to that display and sign please. Just point to it, sign please, wherever it might be. If you're working in a shop, you might need to ask your customer if they want a bag. So to ask somebody if they want a bag, we're going to point with our index finger. So you want, so it's a flat hand, touch your chest and just move down. Want, so you want, and then bag, imagine you're holding a bag, and then just make an upwards motion twice. So you want bag. You want bag. Remember to raise your eyebrows at the same time. Good and bad. So the sign for good in British Sign Language is nice and easy. It's a thumbs up. So this is the sign for good. The sign for bad, take your little finger and just have that extended. That's the sign for bad. A lot of negative signs are associated with this hand shape right here. I know a little bit of sign language. So if you want to say, I know a little bit of sign language, you can sign I, which again is just pointing at yourself. I know. That's a thumb extended, and just tap your head. So I know. I know. Little bit. This is probably a sign that you're using anyway. And then sign. Just extend your hand and extend your fingers and just move them next to each other. So I know a little bit of sign language. There's a few different ways you can say things, but I'm showing you the easiest way possible to say these. So I know a little bit of sign. If you struggle to remember any of these signs, don't worry. Try to use body language. Use gestures that feel natural to you. If you can wear a face mask with a window in, brilliant, because that reveals your lip pattern. If you can keep a notepad and a pen handy, that's great too. The most important thing is please try and be patient, because at this time deaf people are finding it really difficult to communicate with people. Consider, can you go to a room with less background noise? Can you safely remove your mask while ensuring that the other guidelines are followed? Anything that you can do to help is going to be greatly appreciated. If you want to learn some more sign language, head on over to Commanding Hands on YouTube. We've got loads of British Sign Language tutorials on there, and we're adding new content every week. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.